How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Biz in Flow Bedside Chat. My voice is really clear today, and I'm Natasha Koo.
And I'm Jachym, and I'm almost falling asleep.
You are falling asleep. Why is does my voice sound clearer than usual?
It must be your Mandelmus power.
Yes, getting some good fats in, and I'm just having this really yummy, what do you call it? Almond butter. Oh, it's only made of almonds, but it just makes me really excited and empowered by that right now.
Great. So what do you want to talk about besides your food?
I want to talk about how the key to knowing whether your business idea works, or any idea you want to pursue, whether it works or not, is to test it. And today we had a conversation with a friend where he's like, so how's the business flow going? How's your new business going? We're like, yeah, great. We're taking all these steps. We've been pivoting a little bit, making sure that, we're facing in the right direction. Everything's falling together. And then we also told him we're in conversation and we're testing our idea. And then he said, right, to test if people pay, because that's the ultimate test.
That's right.
And that is the ultimate test if you're creating a business. So I think that's something that a lot of people forget. You do a lot of groundwork, do a lot of market research, do a lot of product development, you do a lot of background, whatever, marketing, this or that. And then you don't sell, you don't ask people, would you pay for this? Not only would you pay for it, but would you pay for it now?
No, would you give me your money?
Yeah, are you actually going to give me your money because you value it, because you want it right now? So that's a big test that people often forget or put off to the last minute because it can be scary to sell, like we mentioned in the previous podcasts.
Yeah, but at the same time, we are coming from already having done work with people and having sold all kinds of different packages. And for me, I don't see it that much different for us in that sense. It would be more a question of how do we word it if we were to market it on a broader scale, so that whether we were actually talking it in, presenting it in the right way. Because if you sell coaching on a one-on-one kind of basis, you really can find out what is actually valuable to the person before you propose any kind of package.
And that's why I think it's really valuable that we're having one-on-one conversations first.
Yeah.
And the idea at the beginning is to work one-on-one with people so that we get a better idea of what it is that they need. And
I don't know whether it's the idea to work one-on-one with people. But having one-on-one conversation definitely is good, because if you want to create a sales page, it's basically a one-on-one conversation that you have recorded, basically, and then it's talking to many people. So anyways, if you're interested in finding out whether your idea actually works or not, then just start selling things. Actually, whether, and here's the thing, so let's assume you want to create some kind of product, or you want to create, and by product I mean kind of some info product, or you want to create some kind of retreat or some kind of program for people. Even before you have any idea of how to create it or what exactly needs to be in it, try to sell it first. That's what I learned from some really successful people, is that they might not even have any clue of what exactly they're going to do. They don't create the product first and then try to sell it. They sell it first and then they go create it.
And sometimes people test whole business ideas, right? I remember I was attending this one workshop, and the people, I think a guest speaker, they wanted to test this idea and see if it actually worked before they actually start a business around it, And what they did was to create this landing page, and they just told people about it. And they, through marketing, figured out whether it was something that people were interested in, and people actually put in their emails and put in their names and wanted to find out more about it. They wanted to sign up so they could purchase it, and they're like, oh, people do want this. So they had to go back to the list and say, all right, we're still in development, so you're on hold or you're on a waiting list, and they're going to go develop it. And that's when they actually go ahead and take the action to make into a real product or a real business. But first they literally put out a form, put out a website that just said literally what it would deliver, right? They're testing their idea, and they got real life responses of people who wanted it or were interested in it. And that's just something that people don't do, you know. People want to perfect it, get the end product so that they have this like wonderful perfect baby to show the world. No one wants to create a crappy landing page or a website, you know, just to collect emails or to check people's interest and let that be something to show like their family or friends, like this is what I'm up to, when there's nothing behind it, right? It's not very sexy to do that at the beginning of your business.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you need to do. So stop trying to make everything perfect and actually go out and sell something and then figure out how to actually deliver it. And I know this is kind of upside down thinking for lots of people, because we are taught in school to really do things very differently and, you know, be good kind of students and deliver all this stuff and whatever. No, you actually got to first check whether there's any kind of interest for what you're trying to offer.
Right, but of course there's the due diligence of you're only promising something that you have a pretty good handle on. Something that you're like, I can make this happen.
Yeah.
Something that you actually want to create and deliver. We're not here just to, you know, get people interested and then leave them hanging. We're here to pursue an idea that was close to our hearts or means something to us, that was legitimately something that we want to create. And we're not just throwing ideas around, seeing what sticks, and then making a whole business out of just something random.
Well, but here's the thing, this is what we are about, and I recommend to do this anyways. However, I just wanted to be clear, to be aware that you don't have to put limitations of what you can or can't do, because you may, you know, feel like you want to do something in the airline business and you have never done anything in this kind of industry, yet that doesn't disqualify you from actually doing something in it. Because there have been several entrepreneurs, for example, Richard Branson, who had absolutely no idea of the aviation business, and he went in, and there's another entrepreneur who has done with private jets something, and he has not been off the industry, and they've been both successful. So it's not, you don't have to necessarily be off the industry. Of course, you know, having some kind of, or acquiring some kind of knowledge about the industry eventually becomes, you know, important, but it doesn't mean that you have to be limited to only the things that you know.
This reminds me of the wild business ideas out there that I personally think is just stupid, ludicrous, and yet it still works.
Like what?
On Shark Tank, there was this one startup that was really profitable, and so many sharks thought it was a joke, but it wasn't. They were really making money.
What was it?
You mail other people potatoes, and on the potato you write a message. Like, it was so hot, it was so popular, and people were sending each other potato messages, and that's it. There's no innovation. You just send a potato and you use a Sharpie to like write something on there. It's ridiculous, but it worked. So somehow they believe in the idea, or they try to sell it, and it actually worked. And they were able to scale that, right?
That's really funny.
So the market knows what they want. So even if you have the craziest idea in the world, but you somehow think it is a good idea, you can still go ahead and test it. But there are also times where people literally come to me and they tell me their business idea, and I'm like, that would just never work. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy that, but perhaps other people would.
Yeah.
So you have to test it.
Absolutely. So here's an important takeaway. test it, get real market feedback, rather than just talking to your friends who might just want to make you feel better, or friends who just put you down because they don't think that there's going to be any market for it. Well, they don't know because they might not be your market. So you have to go out and actually just find the people who might be interested in what you're actually offering.
Mm-hmm. And this goes for every single thing that you are pursuing. Like what is it that you're creating, right? Not just the product itself or the service, but the whole business model needs to work. So the whole idea of testing whether people will buy it or not is testing our business model, because it's based on us earning a living through trading our service. And if people aren't willing to pay for that, then it's broken. So this could apply also for maybe charities or whatever project you have in mind. Maybe it's an internal project within the company that you work for. Maybe they want you to track the environmental benefits or the retention within the employees, whatever it might be. Make sure that you are testing it so that you deliver on the actual model, like that you're operating on, right?
Yeah, but the business model can kind of come a bit later. First, you actually got to find whether there's anything that those people want from you and that you can offer, and then you can kind of think about the business model and the production costs and all of this kind of stuff that comes with it. But first, you actually got to see if there's an interest in it. And for those people who are like, well, how can I find interest if I don't actually have what I want to offer to people? Well, people are often not interested in, for example, let's take coaching again. They're not interested in the specific methods and the details about what you're going to offer. What they're interested in is where you're going to get them to. So, for example, you're flying to Hawaii, you can tell people all about the airplane, but the people aren't interested in their airplane, they're interested in Hawaii and where they're going to get to. And that's important to keep in mind as well. So as you may be as you may become aware, when it comes to entrepreneurship, one of the most important skills is sales. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to be successful, you have to get better at sales. Not just selling actual things for money, but being able to sell yourself and selling your ideas. Because if you can't recruit people who believe in your idea, you will have a hard time to find funding, for example. You will have a hard time to find people who want to work in your startup. You will have a hard time to actually find a following and all of that. So selling is absolutely crucial if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur.
I've got to say that at the same time, selling is where you're going to receive probably the most no's.
Yeah.
The most rejection, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. And?
No, I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah.
That you can be incubating, you can be preparing, you can be building, you can be planning, you can be implementing. But all of that is quite safe, in a safe environment, as long as you have the time and the resources to keep that up, right? At some point, something will run out, and you have to kind of face the market, face reality, and go, can that provide for me? Or can the system keep running without, the savings that I'm pouring into it? So that's where the harsh reality or the truth really hits you, is when you start selling and you ask and you get an answer, and at the beginning, maybe you'll get a lot of no's.
Absolutely. But what's the problem with no's? No's are great. Because if you have someone who can say no, they have the capacity to actually make a decision to purchase something or not purchase something. So if you get a no, maybe you have presented it in the wrong way. Maybe you have just not found what they're actually looking for. So that's a good, it's a good customer to have in front of you. Plus also, every no gets you closer to a yes, especially if you're selling something like high-ticket coaching packages. You are closer to a yes every time you get a no. Of course, all of this assumes that you're actually good at what you're doing and that you can actually help people. Because if you're not, then, well, yeah, you shouldn't do it in the first place.
And the market will tell you.
Yeah.
How did you find selling at the beginning of your work, at the very, very beginning?
I was bad. I didn't know how to do it, and
years ago.
It was just bad.
It was just bad?
Yeah.
Because
I didn't even know what selling was. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know I needed it. I just thought people will find me great. What about yourself?
I couldn't put into words what the heck I was doing. Because I was selling healing, energy healing, and every time someone came to me, it could be any issue at all, and we could still get to the core of it, because I could always reach to that emotional component, the energetic component of what they're going through, and once we connect there, it just unravels from there. But it was so hard for me to put into words and to describe the benefits, because it was so individual and so not tangible. So I had the hardest time trying to make sense of it so that I could actually describe it properly. So probably also one of the reasons why it didn't really take off, you know. I had regular clients, or I had people coming to me, but it wasn't something that I could clearly communicate.
You know, that is an interesting point, and I believe that lots of people, especially kind of coaches and healers, fall into a trap that they believe they have to exactly be able to say, you know, have the elevator pitch or whatever. And in my view, that's just not quite true. Yes, that is useful if you're looking to find referrals or find people, you know, you talk to someone and you want a recommendation. Of course, then you need to give them some kind of filter so they can see if they know anyone who fits that. However, if you're meeting people and you go to an event, you are talking to someone and you're just interested in their life, and you actually notice that what they are saying and what they're describing, you would be able to help them. Well, then it's a very easy step to just invite them for a conversation or for a session or for something like that as a taster or whatever, so they can actually feel the experience and they can make a picture of it themselves, rather you than trying to clumsily describe what it is that you're doing. You can actually be like, well, this is what the person is looking for, and actually I really know that I can help them. Anyways, I hope this was useful for you guys listening in. If you have any questions for us, drop us an email at natasha@bizinflow.com. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and we're looking forward to hear you on the Net Podcast. Bye-bye.
No, bye. I have to wrap it up.
Nope. Not today.
What do you mean?
Not today.
Yes, today. Every single time.
No.
So, I hope that this episode has shown you that eating the frog, doing the thing that might bring the most rejection or the most no's, the biggest reality check, that could be selling for the first time, that could be testing your idea, that could be asking people if they would actually participate. That's the frog. Go eat it, because the moment you do, it really helps you to focus your work in a direction that actually works and isn't just all hypothetical. And plus, when it comes to selling, if you're having trouble or just struggling with it, the thing is that you're not completely isolated. When you do get a no, you can always ask why. You're co-creating with the people who, yes, don't want to work with you or don't want your product, but you're co-creating with those individuals plus the ones who would potentially buy from you. So just like Jachym said, I don't need to figure out, all the benefits of my work firsthand. I could do the work, ask for feedback, and hear what it is that they received, and allow that to be a huge compilation of the things that I do well, that I can actually provide as value. So those are the big takeaways and pieces that I would really give to you all, to not have to keep all these troubles and things in your head, and to test it, and to ask for feedback, and to listen, and to eat that frog. So that's what I've got.
Good night.
Good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.